to all become entrepreneurs. Really, we have the responsibility to all be entrepreneurs. The next talk after this one is about AI, and I'm sure there will be a little bit more in depth on this, but if we think about the future of AI and where our jobs are going, what we really want to do is get rid of the things that are tasks that are automated and take the things that we really love to do and start to do those instead. So now we can leverage all of these platforms, everything that's out there, take that data that's in our head and build capital. And we're going to build that capital with each other. We build it with humans by exchanging it, by contributing, and we're also going to build that capital with machines. So this is a huge opportunity for humankind. Really, this is my inspiration for our entire company, and this is why I love Asia so much. There's a Japanese word called ikigai, and ikigai is your life purpose, let's say, or your reason for being. Now, if you take what you love, think about the thing that you value the most, then you take what you're very good at, and then you take what the world needs. There's a center point. Now, if you do those three things, you'll probably find that capital naturally follows, but ikigai includes what gets you paid. What is the thing that is in the center of all four of those concentric circles? That's going to be the thing that you find makes your life the most whole. And so we now have this opportunity, really, and I encourage everyone to take those three circles and write down the things, not the fourth one, not what gets you paid, just find that later, because really we're in a new era where money is changing and the things that get you paid will be different. So we have some principles that we've set forth to create our company and that we abide by as we are moving forward into this new phase. And that is that human data is an asset. And when I say human data, it's all the stuff that's in your head. It's really hard to quantify right now, but very soon, as we start to see that AI is scanning everything we do, we'll be able to quantify it really well. Human connection is valuable. Probably the most valuable thing that we have. Conferences like this put us together in rooms of tribes of people. It's likely that you and I, every single person in this room, would have a great conversation if we talked to each other. And that's not as likely if we're out in the world randomly. This is a matchmaking situation. So these human connections are the most valuable ones that we have, and all of this networking helps us get better together. And finally, every human is a business. So we are all entrepreneurs, and every single person can find a way to monetize the things that they're good at and things that they love. This is so if you want to look at what is all that stuff worth, right? This is an example. This is the first dApp, so this is a decentralized application on the blockchain that rewards you for your digital contributions on centralized networks. So we started with GitHub and Reddit because we really love developers, and developers are the ones that are building out this new world of technology. Without the developers, we would have nothing to stand on. So these two first test applications are currently working in a testnet today. You can sign up and add your GitHub account or add your Reddit account, and it will reward you in Sense. Sense is the value for human intelligence. It's a token that represents everything that you know and everything that you've contributed. So if you see that today it will give you an amount of sense that it believes that what you've contributed is worth, and we have some underlying technology that includes AI. The AI gets smarter as you use it. It wants to know more about you, the human. So if you were to, let's say, contribute to Reddit over time, this could easily find what type of developer you are, how long you've been a contributor, how good of a human you are based on what other people say. That's social consensus, have people giving you thumbs up. So there's the value in the social capital. And then it will put it all together and access it conversationally so that later on, maybe a recruiter can say, I'm looking for a blockchain developer, and then they can connect directly to you. And that's the next value, that human connection. So the Sense network connects all of the humans together with no intermediaries. Today, one of the biggest issues we have in connection is that we have intermediaries stepping in between us. Even SMS has up to 5 intermediaries. SMS used to be only carrier within its own network. So if I'm on T-Mobile, I can only talk to T-Mobile. There had to become a protocol layer sitting in between to connect carrier to carrier. So now there's one carrier, there's a protocol, and there's a second carrier. Then we added on an operating system. So now I have Apple and you have Google. That's 5 intermediaries taking our data. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of access. So we wanted to decentralize, and eventually, very soon actually, we're going to have a lot of decentralized applications, but today we have to create the bridge so that we can connect better, more efficiently, and really just start to own our own data. Sense also provides open access to knowledge. So it's up to you. You get to opt in whether or not you want all of that data to be available, and it's completely anonymized. So you might as well let it be available because it's already in somebody's centralized database today, and you can earn money on it. And then it creates a value exchange with attribution on the blockchain. Knowledge attribution on the blockchain is going to become very, very important because it's your digital identity, it's your record, it's your proof of existence, it's who you are. And you want to create a very amazing profile of yourself, especially when AI starts to talk to you. And finally, it makes human information scalable and fast. And that's the biggest thing today. How do we scale humans? AI is going to scale extremely fast. And for us, we're a little bit slower. So if we could really connect together faster, scale ourselves, we're going to have a very good opportunity to become better, faster, just like AI. So there's another thing to think about here. So 2/3 of the entire world have a mobile device now. That's 5 billion people. And of those, most of them are connected to data. But the crazy part is only 1% of them use digital currency. So how many people have Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other digital currency in the audience? That's almost everyone. So you all represent the 1%. And if almost everyone in this room represents 1%, this is 100% or almost 100% of the people. You know, you're a very, this is a very dense group of very smart individuals who are forward thinking and using innovative technology. So spread that message because this is really the future. So the landscape today, what it looks like. In May, I actually made this slide and I had to update it recently. In May of 2017, MIT and Cambridge said that there were 5 million known cryptocurrency users. It's a really hard thing to quantify, as you know, because it's anonymous. I have 10x that number because since that time, Bitcoin has 10x. So I'm just going to say, let's 10x it and let's call it 50 million instead. It used to be 0.1%, let's call it 1%. Even if it was 10x that, that's 10%. We still need more people using it in order for every single person to be able to transact freely and instantly together. So Sensay is the very first application that uses Sense. It connects users together with no intermediaries across any messenger so that they can chat and transact. I built Sensay 3 years ago. We started in SMS alone. We've never built a centralized application. We've only layered into every messenger available. Here in Asia, we're opening in WeChat, Line, and Kakao. And so Sense really is now in chat in the first application, Sensay. Kind of looks like this. They all connect together. So if I'm in Facebook Messenger, you're in SMS, and someone else is in WeChat, we can still talk, and those networks don't know who each other are. It's really just looks like any chat application. It's inside the application that you choose. And for the first time ever, we've put cryptocurrency inside of that transaction. So we consider every conversation a transaction. Now, the reason that this is important is because while you're chatting, all of your data is captured, and that becomes the data that will eventually be put onto the blockchain is knowledge attribution. If you want this chat to be replayed to a bot later on in life, you can earn money on it. You can earn royalties on your conversations, royalties on your knowledge, just like any other place that you would see a document maybe earning money online for advertising. So Forbes had said that Sensay is a step forward in meshing our world of humanity with the future of chatbots. I believe in the future every single person is going to have a bot. So Addie had mentioned that Brock and I are partners, and Brock was actually the very first test that we did. We created Brock AI, and Brock Bot essentially knows everything that Brock knows, and it can talk back to you on all of the basic questions. If you go up to him and ask him what is blockchain, that's a highly inefficient use of his time, and yours, because if you had the opportunity to ask him a question, his knowledge is so deep, you'd want to do something that's not available on Google. So Brock Bot can give you all that information and earn money for Brock while he's not available, and maybe connect you to Brock for additional fee. Human connection is still a much more valuable resource than marketing data. Forbes also said that about Sensay, and that's true. We believe that the connection is way more important than selling your data for advertisers who just want the opportunity to get your attention. So Sensay is a very, very deep platform, and Sense layered on top of it now gives you the ability to put knowledge attribution on the blockchain. And these are the base applications. I'm kind of going through this quickly because this is the more developer side of things, but we have a blockchain protocol for human intelligence. Sensay is the first application. We have 3 million users on that today, transacting about 25 million coins, and we've opened up the platform for developers. So the API is open. We're really happy that we have now 400 developers that have signed up. 250 have given us $1.5 million in exchange for tokens to start building. So if anybody knows any bot developers or you are one yourself, please join onto the platform and create a bot. Start to encourage everybody to get their knowledge on the blockchain. And finally, Sense is the token that represents human capital. This is how you make Sense. So if you want to participate, you can earn Sense for free by going to Twitter, or Telegram or Facebook. Twitter has a private messaging system, and we can take all of your Twitter data and give you Sense for it. If you're a developer, it's sensetoken.com/developers. You get into the token sale at a discount. And finally, we are actually in the middle of an ICO, and it ends today. So we have a couple of hours to go for the main sale. You can go to sensetoken.com, and if you have any coins that you want to shapeshift out into something else, we can take your altcoins as well. But we really appreciate everybody getting involved in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. We want to give crypto to every single person. We want digital assets and digital value to be in the hands of everyone with a chat messenger, because exchanging digital value should be as easy as exchanging a message. And that's what we believe today. So we're here to put crypto in chat. So please join me as we all make sense together. Here's my email if you'd like to reach out. That's my Twitter handle, Telegram handle. I'm super happy to chat. I spent my last 3 years building a business about conversation and connecting people together. So I would love to have a conversation with you if you have any questions. Thank you.
So, any questions to Crystal? Okay. Yeah, let me come to you guys. Our girl was asking questions yesterday is on rest, but not me.
Hey Crystal, thanks for that. A question about privacy and how that's going to weave through the whole Sense network, and can you just touch on that for us? Like how much security does our data have, and what's the story around that?
Absolutely, it's the blockchain. So anonymity is a default. And that's the really amazing thing. Your data is already out there, but it's attached to your identity on all of these other networks. We inherently disassociate the identity from your knowledge attribution unless you explicitly want it to be included. And as a part of that, we are integrating Civic for identity management. That will eventually be able to do things like validate that BrockBot is actually belonging to Brock if he so chooses to reveal his identity.
Sure. Mike is yours.
So 2 questions for you. First of all, is how do you guys actually reach consensus on your platform? Because sometimes we not only have sum up, sometimes people just hate what you said, but is that also the asset you recognize, or how you really rate actually the message you were talking about, or quote it as asset, really asset, because that stuff is really subjective. That is the first question.
Yeah, right now there are 2 types of data that we have to work with when it comes to ratings. So networks today do thumbs up, thumbs down mostly, right? But Facebook is the first one that got it right with thumbs up only. Everything should be like a binary input, 0 and 1, the original coding language, right? So a 0 is actually the lack of signal, and a 1 is an input, it's a signal. There is no such thing as a negative signal. And so we look at that the same way. However, a lot of networks already have those rating systems built in. So for instance, Reddit, we take into account upvotes and downvotes. Eventually in the future, we'll look at it more like the positive votes only and drop everything to the bottom that's a 0. Steam, it works this way. There are other networks that are starting to abide by it and work on it as well. But I think overall, social consensus is, what are the general ratings? We, at the end of the chat in Sensay, give you the option to thumbs up, thumbs down, but it does work in the 0-1 system. And the AI really has to also look at everything else, like sentiment. We scan everything for all different types. We have a team of 12 people who've been working on this, and scaling for us means that we need to get more developers creating more products and doing things like social consensus. The underlying technology is there, the platform's ready. We need more people to contribute and make it better.
Yeah, Understood. So the second question is like you mentioned one use case is we actually can just eliminate the HR to directly connect to the people who need the talent. So, but in that case, are you guys actually playing the HR role, or do you have other cases this Sensay platform actually making sense?
Sensay today has tens of millions of conversations happening every month that start with mostly relationship advice, and they go to jobs and then things like housing and travel. We don't really want to eliminate the role of the HR person, we want to make it more efficient. So if we could directly get to the person, you're weeding out the intermediaries like recruiters or like people that step on top of the process because they make the connection. Now think of like a recruiter or a consultant. The biggest value that they provide is the connection, and that's where we think that the connection is actually the top value in this whole chain. We would rather see a single connection direct, and maybe that is the HR person. Their job just becomes a lot more efficient. And if it is a recruiter, maybe that person is sitting on the system helping to classify and helping to make sure that those chats are what they say they are. Eventually, we will need to have a lot of humans working to make the data better. And at the end of the chat, you have the opportunity to do that. So today on Sensay, we have a feature called Peek. It's kind of like voyeurism into the chat. You can see a lot of chats going on the system. That's where anonymity really kicks in and becomes interesting. The AI will pull out a chat that looks good. We have an entire way to figure out whether or not the chat is classified as good. Pull a random image or one that's seemingly likely to match and create a story out of it. So you can actually tap and play the role of the people in the chat. This is just one example of how we can remonetize your chat experience. And so if it were something super valuable and maybe this recruiter or developer had a conversation that they could then remonetize, think of like putting something on Stack Overflow and having Google eventually get you there through search. This is just a better direct connection. Eventually, we're going to either connect to the human or the bot representing the human. Today it's human to human, then it'll be human to bot. Maybe we have bot on bot action in the future.
So we have time for the last question. I've seen that, yeah. You had a question, right? Okay.
Hi, Crystal. Great presentation. Everything made sense.
Thank you.
Just a sucker for discounts. Just because your ICO is running, any discounts for the Blockshow people over here?
Bonuses, come to me for bonuses. So we actually, and this is really important to me, I'm on the board of the ICO Governance Foundation based out of San Francisco. We're seeking to create better standards in ICOs. It's highly important that you, as a person who is either running an ICO or investing in ICOs, do not demand too deep of discounts from the people who are running them or from yourself, because what ends up happening is a flip and a price floor. So while we do have discounts, the highest one that we've given is 25%. If you saw Simon Dixon's panel with me yesterday or see him today, Simon Dixon has a company, a fund rather, called Bank to the Future. Bank to the Future is running a syndicate for us. We've given him allocation at 25%. He's co-investing with Blockchain Capital. So you can go to his website if you have fiat. I saw some hands that don't have cryptocurrency today. So this is an easy way to get in for you if you have a non-US investor accredited account. So it is working with accredited investors. You can go to Bank to the Future, find Sense, and invest there at the 25% discount. For Blockshow participants, I would be happy to personally give some of my allocation for a bonus. So out of the company tokens, we give a bonus. We don't change the structure of what the terms of sale are today, but absolutely I'll add 10% onto that for my own and just for Addie. I really appreciate you guys, and really, to me, this is a sustainable feature, and this is something that I'm passionate about building. So I'd love to have you participate.
Thanks, Crystal. You see, that was not me. That was our friends in the audience. Okay, my personal thanks for such a great presentation and valuable answers to our guests. Thank you so much, Crystal, and have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
So.